This week on Quad NB, once again, we're taking you to a wonderful region to discover the Acadian Peninsula. We will talk to you about 4 clubs, Caracat, Shippagan, Miscou, and Île-Lamèque. Quad NB, coming right up.
Situated in the Caracat and Shippagan areas, the 2 neighboring clubs of Region 3 that we're now presenting to you made their reputation with their many self-funding and community funding events. Creating a membership environment of over 500 members, the 2 clubs that soak in the waters of the Baie Chaleur will allow you to enjoy their flat lands that bring many challenges to guarantee 4-season trails. But you will be amazed by the Acadian culture as well of Caracat and the seafood taste of Shippagan. We know you will enjoy your time with the club VTT Brake Water.
Yes, welcome back to Quad NB, this show that takes you right in the heart of New Brunswick. We are bringing you to places that you have never been before, and probably you've been before, but year after year, month after month, everything changes in the forest. Now we're moving in the Acadian Peninsula, where over there also we will discover new things, and he's back with us, loyal to us, to the show, and to you people also, Roger Daigle, president of the New Brunswick All-Terrain Federation. Roger, let's explain to people that we're inside for this show because it's raining like impossible outdoors. That's what ATV is all about. We have to take profit of everything that we have. So we're installed inside. We have this little camper beside us, but this is what ATV is all about because the 2 really go together, camping and ATV.
Absolutely. More and more people go out for overnight runs, and they bring their tents and they stay out in the woods. And a little camper like that apparently can be hauled with a side-by-side.
Yes, that's it.
And that would be a perfect thing to bring out and enjoy the nature.
A good asset. Well, this week at the show, we will be talking, about 4 clubs, Caracat, Shippagan, Miscou, and Île-Lamèque for this show. And next week also, we will talk about the 4 other clubs in the Acadian Peninsula. But Roger, let's start with Caracat and Shippagan. Interesting over there to visit also.
Absolutely. We're in the Acadian country again.
Yes.
And it's so beautiful. The Acadian Peninsula. I have a hard time with words. Please make my mouth work. Yes, the Acadian Peninsula, most of their trails are winter only because they're situated in bogs or wetlands, and in the wintertime when it freezes over, then they can go out and groom their trails. But in the summertime, they do have summer trails,
yes,
4-season trails, I should say. They have access to an abandoned rail bed, and it's so beautiful to go out on that rail bed and see the scenery. You can see beaver dams, you can see lakes, rivers, and then you have, I believe it's the Baie of Chaleur that follows the Acadian Peninsula.
The coast, yes.
It follows the coast. It's absolutely beautiful. The beaches are
You're right.
spectacular.
And over there, the difference, the main reason why they're mostly winter clubs, it's because they travel on huge fields of blueberries, cranberries, and all those little fruits. So this is what makes the Acadian Peninsula, can I call it the capital of winter ATVing?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes?
Absolutely. It's the capital of the world for ATVing in the winter, because they have over 2,000 kilometers of trails. I mean, that's unbelievable. And you can go at either town or city and leave from there and take those trails from there.
This is interesting because we're talking about having access to services in the Caracat area. Shippagan also, take the city of Shippagan. They already have access on streets. It's been like this for quite a while. And take Caracat, it's the same thing also. Those two clubs have access to many services like?
Yeah, they have access to a motel, Super 8. They have access to restaurants. They have access to gas stations, which is a must when you're ATVing. Or if you're a tourist and looking for places to stay. I mean, it's an absolute must.
And the must there is also, you see, you do ATV, you can have access there in summertime in Caracat. Many events. You know, it's the capital of culture, the Acadian capital of culture. Many interesting things. It's still raining to see. And most of all, there's attractions on the Saint-Pierre Boulevard. Lots of them, sites to visit.
Yes, they have. Well, there's not a weekend that goes by that there's not a club somewhere that has a poker run or an event on. And the big events like the 15th of August is the Acadian Day. They really celebrate, and the ATVs take part in all the parades, the celebrations and stuff.
Yes, they have access, lots of campsites.
Campsites galore. In the summertime, there's all kinds of campsites. There's motels, hotels that they can stay at. But it's to get some of them, they don't have direct access. You have to leave from the motel, load it on your truck or trailer, and truck it somewhere. Yes. But there's a few places, and you would have, the tourists would have to contact the Federation. We have a list of all the clubs in the area, and it'd be best for the person that wants to go ride in the peninsula to contact the local club that in the area they want to go ride in.
Yes, the pride of the Caracat Club, which is Club VTT Acadien, their pride is their teepee. Everybody talks about it.
Yes, the teepee is a stopover. It's a warming hut, really, but it's we usually call them shelters, but they decide to do something different. They build it into the shape of a teepee.
That's it.
And they put a lot of work. The members did an excellent job, and it's a good place to stop and have lunch and take a break.
And it's the same thing for them also, because they take pride in what they do as volunteers. And as we've seen throughout the series, the pride of all the clubs is their shelters. And we're not just talking about a little place, a little hideout, but it's really, the construction of those shelters are really nice to visit.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where, in those shelters, that's where they put a lot of advertisement for the people supporting their clubs. And it's a good place to advertise. So if somebody has a business and wants to get involved in ATVing, they just contact local club and they can advertise, put their advertisement wherever.
Yes. Let's move in the Shippagan area, where still there are lots of nice things to see there. The aquarium, many attractions, also many yearly events for the club itself and also for the community. And they also have lots of events where they can raise funds for that benefit the community also.
Yes, absolutely. And it's the same for snowmobiles in the wintertime. They give them access to the motels, restaurant, and they do give some access to ATVs in Shippagan.
And not far from Shippagan, there's this, I think it's the longest bridge where the ATVs can have access, Inkerman Bridge, almost 1 kilometer long, and the ATVers have access to that bridge.
Yes, they do. And without that bridge, I mean, they'd be their own absolute island without that bridge. Without that bridge, they couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's very, very positive that the town would let them use that bridge.
But there's still another bridge needed to make the connection between those two clubs and the two other clubs that we will be talking about in the second portion of the show. Roger, we are here in this northeastern part area of New Brunswick. You talked about the tourism attractions. So just to make a little wrap up of those two clubs, we invite the people. There are so many nice things to visit and to see. Go do your ride on daytime, and then when you come back on nighttime, get at the hotel or the camping, and after that, you have so many things to visit that people can't miss it.
Absolutely. You're in the Acadian Peninsula, and you learn a lot about the history, and there's a lot to do. Concerning sightseeing. Sightseeing is a must.
Yes, and what people can do, I know that their tourism office there in the Acadian Peninsula is really active. They can help you. Just give a call. They know everywhere, all the sites, all the clubs that can accommodate you to have, let's say, access to something, or maybe just, I shouldn't say just, but maybe a guide also. We can arrange all that. And the Acadian Peninsula is a treasure in itself to visit in winter time. This is what we're trying to do, get the people, because winter ATV is something really different than summer non-grooming season and snowmobiling. It's completely different.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you mentioned a guide. Most clubs will find somebody that the guide won't cost you a dime.
That's it.
They're so excited when somebody calls them up and say, we have a group and we want to go on a run. They'll find somebody to guide them, and it wouldn't cost a thing.
And I even know that some people, when they guide a rally or a little ride, they carry a moose meat, wild animal meat, and I've seen that. I've seen that many times. People have their little stove, and they just cook it for the visitors.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why we have the shelters.
Yes, that's
and that's why we call it ATVing in the open air.
That's it. That's it. Roger, you're staying with us?
I am.
Okay, we'll be back after the break, still on Quad NB for two other clubs, Miscou and Île-Lamèque.
Did you know you could save money on your off-road vehicle insurance by being a member of the Federation? Find out more information by following this link, www.insuretoys.ca/New Brunswick/index at HTML, or by clicking on the Oasis Insurance logo on the Federation's website. The formal mandate for the New Brunswick ATV Federation is that of ATV trail managers for New Brunswick. We function as a nonprofit organization with 56 member clubs across the province since our 1998 incorporation. Sitting on two islands, the Club VTT Île-Lamèque and Club VTT Miscou cover a small trail area, but the scenery is unique in the province as it runs along the peninsula's coast. There's endless water vistas and beautiful inland scenery that hosted the first Acadians in the area. Whether it's for show, or a visit to the Miscou Lighthouse, or to participate in numerous social events, the 400 members belonging to the two clubs find themselves in the eye of a success story based on the foundation of the communities and their survival for freedom.
Yes, we're back on the show, Quad NB, still with our guest today, Roger Daigle. Roger, as mentioned in the first part of the show, in the opening, we're here while there's just something missing, one bottle of water. We have everything to have fun, and this is something that we see quite commonly. Campers.
Absolutely.
Often. And thanks to Brunswick Trailer Sales, who accepted to host us here because it's raining like impossible outdoors. So we moved it here to be able to do the show. So Roger, we talked in the first part of the show of the clubs of Caracat and Chipagan. Now we'll talk about Miscou and Île-Lamèque. Still there, lots of nice things to see and discover and to talk about.
Exactly, and Miscou and Île-Lamèque are two islands really, because they're limited in where they can ride because they're on an island. Now they do have access, or I believe that one bridge is open to ATVing where they can cross the bridge, but they're still limited on the second bridge. The second bridge is still closed to them as of now. But it's in the works to try to get permission so that they can join the neighboring clubs on the other side.
That's it. So yes, they're both in the loop because
Exactly.
one has 60 kilometers and the other one a little more.
Right.
So what people like to see, there's both of them also are winter grooming clubs, as we call them in our language. So this is something else to discover because we told it in the first part of the show. The Acadian Peninsula is the capital of winter ATV.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Miscou Island is one of the farthest places you can go east in New Brunswick. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there.
And the lighthouse.
Oh, the
Something
lighthouse.
to see itself.
The lighthouse, and they have wharfs. It's absolutely beautiful in the summertime.
Yes.
In the summertime, they have the beaches, And I believe Miscou, they can ride a little bit on summer trails, but they're limited because they're surrounded with bogs and they're surrounded with wetlands, so they're limited as to where they can ride.
So their main challenge is, as some of the clubs, they're on flat land?
That's it. It's flat land. It's bogs where it's mostly wetlands. It's not only flat, but if you go in there in the summertime, you would be damaging the nature, and that's not what we're all about. We're there to preserve the nature as much as possible. That's why when we have trails, ATVs stay on the trail.
That's it. This is something interesting because I know that Club Miscou, I'm working with them to develop what we call summer trails. In our language, it's dry trails. So to build dry trails, it's a little more complicated because even if you're going through swamps, you need a special technique to make it dry within going right through the water. So this is something really hard to get over with and get along with. So Miscou Club has a nice vision about becoming a four-season club.
They are, and they're working hard. And as you mentioned, they're trying to make them dry trails because if the only way that they can make them dry trails is to raise the rail or the trail bed, and in order to do that, it costs a lot of money, and that's why they're limited in the trails that they have because it's costing them so much for every kilometer they make. I wouldn't dare guess how much it would cost.
And they have to deal with more wetlands than anybody else
Exactly.
anywhere else. Yes, that's it. But still, that Roger, tourists can have access there, maybe for a day. It's a must. It's a must.
It's a must. More than for a day. They have motels, they have restaurants, and they do have gas. And a tourist can go there and spend not only a day, they can spend a week because there's still lots to do. Even though it's an island, the people are so friendly. They would be friends with them within a day.
That's it. And I would say within minutes. I can't even say that.
Oh yeah.
There's the in Île-Lamèque. There's the what they call trying to find the word windmills.
Windmills. Yes, the wind farms.
Also, that's something else to visit. Also.
Yes, it is. And the wind farm is there to produce electricity. And when you see it from far away, it looks small. But once you get there, those windmills are over 300 feet high. And the blades alone, I believe, are around 275 feet. So imagine that turning in the wind. And there's a trail that makes it right through there. And it's fantastic to see.
That's it. So people can, as you said, spend a week over there. They have events also, winter events, the clubs themselves, but the communities also have major events.
Absolutely, and when the community has a major events, they do get the clubs involved because it's one of those activities where the whole community comes together.
Right, and if we look at it, we see it in a regional matter. We talked about the two other clubs. So this area, I would say that it's in the northern crown of the Acadian Peninsula.
Yes.
Tremendous things to see, really completely different from other clubs that we talked about on the shows previously.
Absolutely. Most beautiful things to see there in the summertime. They have the beaches, the wharf, the boats. In the wintertime, well, it's winter, but they do have winter trails, beautiful winter trails. And again, it's one of those things that tourists are looking for. Different things to do, different places to see, and lots to do.
I'll be talking about the lighthouse again because once you're there, there are still night shows also that people can assist to. And there's when you get there, for people who have never been there, just look on the maps to see where Miscou Island is. You see where the lighthouse is. Once you're there, it's windy, but you see, if you look on one side, it's water. If you look on the other side, it's still water. This is just great to visit.
It is. It is. I believe it's a Northumberland Strait. It's the ocean. And what can I say? When you're if you don't like the weather going out, or if you don't like the weather going out the front door, go out the back door. It's different.
That's it, and still heritage.
Oh, heritage,
over there,
yes.
because I'm not really crazy about history, but I do know that the settlers, the first settlers that came in the Chaleur area, put their foot the first time on Miscou Island. So there's really a great heritage with Miscou Island.
There is, and if you ask the locals, you could sit down with the locals and they can tell you stories for hours.
Yes.
Concerning how Miscou came about and how it was a fisherman or a fishing village at first, and they just evolved from there.
Yeah, and stop by Saint-Simon, because the captain of Saint-Simon, we do that his ship sank in the water and still there.
Yes.
So you.
Yes.
There's so many nice things to see. Stop by the museum. You'll see they have so great things to share with you, to tell you. So this is just half of the Acadian Peninsula.
Exactly.
Because next week we will be talking about the second half, I would say the southern part of the Acadian Peninsula. And we'll still have you there to talk to us about that. But Roger, let's get back to the clubs, those two clubs, Miscou and Île-Lamèque. Yes, they are small clubs, but quite energetic.
Energetic, active, and you couldn't ask for better people to make friends with. Even in the summertime, I remember one event that they hosted, and the fishermen gave them over 200 pounds of lobster
really?
to
Wow.
give away, and it was just a fantastic event. And that's that's how they get their money. They raise their money to build the trails, to keep the groomers going, because the groomers, they're expensive to operate. The fuel bill can be quite high if you have 2-3 storms in a row, and that's where the money goes. And they're quite active. And once more, without our volunteers, we wouldn't be anywhere.
That's it. So there's no doubt that the northern part of the Acadian Peninsula, like everywhere else in the province of New Brunswick, is a must to see. So tourists, still the same thing. Communicate with our federation.
Exactly.
Ask questions. Send emails. We will reply to them and really guide you, take you to the proper persons, the proper places. There are tourism offices that work with us, so we will direct you right to the right places.
Contact the club is the best thing.
That's
there you get good information, and they'll probably end up guiding you on
That's
the trip.
it. You're right, and they will take a great pleasure of it. Generous people and all this stuff. Well, thanks for being there. Next week we will talk about 4 other clubs in the Acadian Peninsula. So be with us once again on Quad NB.
Welcome to Riding Tips with Jim. This week we're going to talk about the CASI ATV Rider Course. ATV Rider courses are offered throughout the province. Register yourself or a child by going to the New Brunswick ATV Federation website and clicking the link. The Canadian AQCC Safety Institute, a division of the All-Terrain Quad Council of Canada, has joined forces with the ATV Safety Institute and the Canadian Off-Highway Vehicle Distributors Council to offer the CASI ATV Rider Course. Our instructors have been trained to teach the CASI program. The curriculum includes Introduction to the CASI ATV Rider Course, using a range of signals, rules, and warm-up exercises, controls and how to start the engine, starting out, shifting gears and braking, turning, riding strategies, riding circles and figure eights, quicker turns, sharp turns, quick stops and swerves, quick stop in a turn, riding over obstacles, safe and responsible riding practices, circuit or trail riding, and a wrap-up and review. The cost of the course is $100. However, the New Brunswick All-Terrain Vehicle Federation offers significant discounts. The New Brunswick ATV Federation has age-appropriate models available to rent for children. This has been Riding Tips with Jim. Keep the rubber side down.